Welcome. Here is the news update on Ukraine for the 16th of September. In this update, an update of the usage of ATACMS once delivered to Ukraine. The state of Russia's economy. First Black Sea shipping taking place after Russian withdrawal of the grain agreement. EU countries banning entry of Russian cars. And Ukraine promises more drone attacks in the near future. Ukraine is close to receiving ATACMS missiles from the US this autumn. The Wall Street Journal reported that the administration of US President Joe Biden is getting closer to providing Ukraine with ATACMS missiles. This may happen this autumn. Officials have shared information that the Pentagon wants to transfer a limited number of missiles to Ukraine to ease concerns about the overuse of US stockpiles. The US had already received assurances that Ukraine would not use the weapons to strike Russian territory. According to the WSJ, any provisions for using ATACMS will depend on a similar promise. On the 7th of August, Ukraine's Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba spoke with US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and stressed the need for ATACMS for the Ukrainian armed forces. On the 9th of September, it was reported that the US may provide missiles to Ukraine in the next aid package. On the 12th of September, it was reported that the Biden administration was close to approving the supply of longer-range missiles to Ukraine, which are immediately equipped with cluster munitions. Blinken said the following regarding what targets are viable for the ATACMS.
Missiles 200 miles in range. Are you okay if those missiles allow Ukraine to attack deep into Russian territory?
In terms of their targeting decisions, it's their decision, not ours.
The Central Bank of Russia made another move to combat ongoing economic challenges by raising its key lending rate to 13% on Friday. This decision follows a substantial rate hike just 1 month ago, which underscores persistent concerns about inflation and the ruble's ongoing struggle against the dollar. In August, the central bank had hiked the lending rate to 12%, representing a significant increase of 3.5 percentage points. This move was prompted by the ruble's decline, which had seen it plummet to 100 against the US dollar. Although the ruble showed some signs of improvement after the previous rate hike, it still lingers at around 95 to the dollar, a far cry from its strength a year ago when it was trading at approximately 60 to the US currency. The central bank's decision to raise borrowing costs is a response to the challenges arising from Russia's increasing imports and declining exports, particularly in the oil and natural gas sector. This situation is exacerbated by rising defense expenditures and the impact of sanctions. A reduced trade surplus, a consequence of importing more and exporting less, typically exerts downward pressure on a nation's currency. Ruslan Grinberg, the scientific director of the Institute of Economics of the Russian Academy of Sciences, emphasized the critical role of export revenues from oil sales in Russia's income, which have already shrunk by about 40–45%. This trend is expected to persist, further straining the economy. Unemployment, or the lack thereof, presents another challenge. Even before the conflict, Russia faced a demographic issue with a low birth rate, resulting in a limited workforce. The invasion of Ukraine has exacerbated this problem, leading to a brain drain of talent to former Soviet states like Georgia and the conscription of many men into the military. Alexandra Prokopenko, from the Berlin-based Center for East European and International Studies, explained that the Russian economy is operating at its maximum capacity due to historically low unemployment levels. This situation implies that there are insufficient workers in the country to meet production demands, reflecting the intense pressure the Russian economy faces in the aftermath of Vladimir Putin's decision to invade Ukraine. Despite these challenges, the Russian government has recently revised its economic growth forecast for 2023, predicting a 2.8% increase. Additionally, it anticipates a 2.3% rise in GDP for the following year. These forecasts indicate the government's determination to navigate the complex economic landscape, despite the multifaceted difficulties it currently confronts. This morning, 2 merchant vessels made their way towards Ukrainian ports, preparing to load approximately 20,000 tons of wheat destined for Africa and Asia. This development was confirmed by a Ukrainian official. This marks a significant event as it represents the first utilization of critical Black Sea shipping routes since Russia's withdrawal from an agreement that had been established to ensure the safe transit of cargo vessels carrying grain. Ukraine's infrastructure minister, Oleksandr Kubrakov, disclosed that the ships in question, named Resilient Africa and Ariat, were en route to Kornomorsk. Kornomorsk is one of the 3 primary ports located near the city of Odessa, strategically positioned for facilitating grain exports. As of 2 p.m. local time, 7 a.m. Eastern Time, Data sourced from the Marine Traffic website, which monitors global shipping movements, indicated that both vessels were positioned approximately 10 miles off the southwestern coast of Ukraine. This development signifies a critical step in resuming the vital flow of grain exports through the Black Sea region. Interior Minister Mariusz Kaminski said on Saturday that Poland would ban the entry of passenger cars registered in Russia starting Sunday, state-run Polish news agency PAP reported. The ban is a further part of sanctions imposed on Russia and its citizens in connection with the war in Ukraine, PAP said, citing Kaminski. Similar news also come from Finland. Finland has made the decision to prohibit cars with Russian registration from entering the country, a move prompted by clarifications received from the European Commission. This ban officially came into effect on September 16, starting from the beginning of the day. The announcement regarding this decision was made by Finland's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Elina Valtonen, who stated that Finland would cease permitting entry to cars with Russian registration by the end of the day. Minister Valtonen emphasized that Finland had coordinated these steps with neighboring countries and engaged in discussions with national agencies to understand the implementation of the decision and its potential repercussions. Furthermore, Valtonen underscored Finland's belief in the necessity of a consistent approach among European Union member states when it comes to enforcing sanctions against Russia and combating efforts to circumvent these sanctions. Under the new regulations, only European Union citizens and their immediate family members, as well as individuals with diplomatic status, will be allowed entry into Finland if they possess Russian license plates. There will be some exceptions made for humanitarian reasons. Border authorities anticipate a significant reduction in cross-border traffic between Finland and Russia as a result of these measures. Cars with Russian license plates already present in Finland are required to leave the country within the next 6 months, with a deadline set for March 16, 2024. Finland's decision aligns with the closure of the entire eastern border of the European Union to Russian cars, following similar determinations made earlier in the week by Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. This collective response underscores the EU's unified stance in addressing the ongoing geopolitical situation involving Russia. Ukraine is poised to escalate its drone-based attacks on Russian warships, as indicated by Mikhailo Fedorov, the digital transformation minister who has been instrumental in developing Ukraine's drone industry. In a recent interview with Reuters, he confidently stated, "There will be more drones, more attacks, and fewer Russian ships. That's for sure," in response to inquiries about recent incidents near Crimea. Over the past week, Ukraine has executed multiple attacks on Russia's Black Sea naval fleet, employing sea drones and missiles in and around the Crimean Peninsula, which Russia annexed from Ukraine in 2014. This bold assertion reflects Ukraine's growing assertiveness, as it has now openly claimed responsibility for these attacks on Crimea, a departure from its previous reluctance to directly acknowledge involvement in military operations there. Russia has acknowledged a Ukrainian missile strike that inflicted damage on a warship and a submarine this week but maintains that it has successfully thwarted all sea drone attacks. On Thursday, Fedorov shared a grainy video on social media, seemingly captured from a vessel approaching a much larger warship, culminating in an explosion. He disclosed that this attack was carried out using Ukrainian systems funded by a government-operated crowdfunding platform designed to raise resources for various equipment, including drones. Fedorov also highlighted the remarkable growth of Ukraine's aerial drone production, indicating that it had surged by over 100 times in 2023 compared to the previous year. He anticipates this expansion to reach approximately 120 to 140 times by year-end. Additionally, Ukraine is actively testing artificial intelligence (AI) systems capable of identifying targets several kilometers away and guiding drones toward them even in scenarios where external communications are disrupted due to electronic warfare measures. We need AI, for instance, the technology for finding targets. Just like how the Lancet, a Russian drone, operates, so that a target can be located under electronic warfare and destroyed, Fedorov explained. He went on to describe how these technologies are being actively utilized, with drones employing AI to discern targets in various environments, including forests, and differentiate between individuals, tanks, or specific vehicles. These advancements underscore Ukraine's commitment to harnessing cutting-edge technology for its defense and strategic operations.